Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Okay, so Rey Vargas retains his WBC featherweight championship with a split draw against Nick Ball. And I know what people are going to say. This was a robbery. Nick Ball won it. No, it wasn't a robbery, right? Look, if you can't judge a fight over 12 rounds, not six, if your attention span is that feeble, go watch ping pong, okay? Because, yes, Ball clearly dominated the second half of the fight. But guess what? Vargas dominated the first half. I had this fight 113, a draw, which was what one of the judges had it, okay? I'll come to the knockdowns in a moment. Another judge had it 116, 112 to Ball. I don't know what the hell he was watching. You want a ridiculous scorecard. That's a ridiculous scorecard. Okay, if you thought Ball won it by a couple of points, no problem. But 6 points, you're higher than King Kong's bollocks, all right, if you think that. The other judge, I can't remember what he had it. He had it for Vargas by a couple of points, I think. Look, first 6 rounds, I gave 5 of them to Vargas. I'm doing this 5 minutes up or 10 minutes after the fight's over. I'm not rewriting history. That's what I saw. 5 of the first 6 rounds to me went to Vargas. The commentary team had it 6. I think I gave Ball the 5th, maybe. But yeah, you can make a case for Vargas winning the first 6 rounds, which is half the damn fight, okay? Then in the 7th round, a two-way traffic breaks out because Ball starts to put it on Vargas and he shakes him badly. And you think, okay, that's great. In the first half of the fight, Ball was doing all the chasing. The size difference is almost comical. I mean, he's got to be about 7 inches taller than Ball, Vargas has. He's very tall for a featherweight. Ball is very short. Ball's about 5'2.5", 5'3", which is kind of light flyweight size. Even some of them are bigger than that. But, there was a lot of rough stuff from Ball in the 3rd round. He got hold of Vargas, who just slung him over, threw him on the canvas. You could have a point taken off for that, but he didn't. But he was constantly chasing, just couldn't get anywhere. Vargas banging very, very well to the body from 2nd round onwards. And Ball took it. Ball took that punishment well. So well done to him for that. But he wasn't winning the rounds early on. Like I say, in the 7th round, Ball did shake Vargas and there was a turning of the tide. And I think Vargas was getting a bit frustrated with all the rough stuff. And it took him out of his game plan. In the 8th round, I gave it to Ball, a bit closer. Vargas he wasn't being as proactive. He wasn't firing as many punches. He was looking to perhaps counter punch more, which I didn't really understand. But probably because he'd been using his feet a lot. Maybe his gas tank was getting a little bit low. But Ball was he just wouldn't. He talk about a ball rolling. This guy was coming straight at you. I mean, he calls himself Wrecking Ball. Fireball would be another good nickname for Nick Ball. And I like Nick Ball. I mean, I'm a big fan of his. I love watching him. I think he's really exciting. He's just a nasty, gritty, spiteful little sod. And in the was it the 9th round? He got the first knockdown. I think it was one of the knockdowns was a left hook. The other or an overhand. Yeah, it was left hook. The other was a overhand right. And the first knockdown was controversial because they were wrestling. Okay, Vargas was hanging on. The referee should have really spoken to Vargas about holding on. But Vargas was swung around by Ball. Ball, for a guy of his size, very physically strong. And then as he let go of Vargas, he clipped him. And I can't remember which knockdown was a right and which one was a left, but it connected. I think it was a left hand. And down goes Vargas, who claims, look, I was thrown to the floor, which he sort of half was, but he should have been hanging on, mate. And yeah, Ball clipped him on the way down, and it was called a knockdown. I don't have a problem with that knockdown. You can argue it wasn't, but I don't have a problem with it. So suddenly, we got a fight on our hands, and the gap is narrowing. Now, this carries on. There were a couple of swing rounds in the second half of the fight. Vargas was still working hard. Ball looked the most dangerous. He was the one coming forward, no doubt. But of course, the pressure has to be productive. It can't just be, I'm walking forwards. So what? You're walking forwards. What are you landing? And he was landing some punches, Ball. And yeah, Vargas in the second half of the fight was more on the back foot, almost semi-running maybe. And then in the 11th round, there was the second knockdown, and this definitely was a knockdown because Ball, I think it was an overhand right. It was a three-punch combination. I think it was a left, was it a right, left, and then a right over the top, clipped Vargas when he was near the ropes, and he skidded onto his back. Definitely a knockdown. So suddenly, from out of nowhere, you got two knockdowns. So that's two 10-8s. And Vargas has got it all to do. Now, the last round, I thought Vargas nicked it, but it's a swing round. And again, it was because Vargas was when Vargas was letting his hands go, even in the second half of the fight, he was catching Ball. I mean, he shook him badly with one of the, I can't remember what it was. Was it a right cross? But Ball has got a terrific chin. I mean, really fantastic jaw. He sort of shuddered and then went back into it. Vargas, by the way, is an orthodox fighter, as is Ball. So the feet weren't treading on each other. It was a case of, but the styles, despite the fact they're both orthodox fighters, the styles could not have been more contrasted. And to look at them, they couldn't be more two contrasting fighters. Well, as I say, I gave the final round to Vargas by a wafer-thin margin, and that made it 113 on my card, which is what one of the judges had it. After the fight, the crowd, not really like the Riyadh crowd, but they were booing. I suppose it was all the Liverpudlians and all the British fans booing the decision. Frank Warren did his usual routine. Of course he won it. It was a robbery. But it wasn't a robbery, Frank. It's not a robbery, all right? If you think it's a robbery, you're a twat, all right? It's not you don't know how to score a fight, okay? Because it's over 36 minutes, 12 rounds, not 6, all right? Let's get that established. Okay, if you think the knockdowns made the difference and it was a 2-pointer in favour of Ball, I ain't got a problem with that at all. If you think Vargas nicked it on, skill and precision and all the rest of it, okay, I think that's pushing it a bit. I thought 113 was fine. And the obvious thing is we run it back, okay? But, and I'm a light Nick Ball, big fan of his. I think Vargas, 2-weight world champ. Despite his height, he was actually WBC super bantamweight champ for a while, made a few defences. He's made a few defences of this fight. He said the inactivity of this belt, this WBC featherweight belt, he said the inactivity bugged him because he's been a year out. His only defeat is to O'Shaquie Foster. No shame in that. That was up at super feather. Lost unanimous decision. It was clear, but it was competitive. He made O'Shaquie work, but O'Shaquie won that fight. But next time round, at 33, is Vargas over the other side of the hill? I don't think he's past it, not by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah. He might be beginning to descend, shall we say, whereas Ball at 27 is probably coming into his prime if he isn't there already. But a rematch is a natural. So it was a good fight. Back in the day, there used to be a football cliche when I was a kid. It's a game of two halves, Brian. If you know, you know. All right? This was a fight of two halves. First 6 rounds, Vargas all day long. Second 6 rounds, Ball dominated. A draw, no problem at all with that. No problem at all. What do you think? Leave your comments below, and we'll have a little discussion or debate or whatever. Who do you think won, Ball or Vargas? Do you think a draw was a fair result, as I do? Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button as well. And we got a couple of heavyweight fights to come yet, so looking forward to those. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.